So yesterday we covered the story of Rush Limbaugh saying that hurricanes are a liberal hoax perpetrated by big science. Again, as if these things actually exist. Well, guess what? He's evacuating southern Florida. Rush, what happened, buddy? He just did the rant. He just did it. Yeah, these hurricane warnings, the problem with these hurricanes. He always talks like he's got a cheeseburger in his mouth. These hurricane warnings is... The thing about these hurricane warnings is it's an attempt to create panic to try to push the climate change agenda. And, think about the fact that you can't even buy any water bottles around here. I mean, there were water bottles on the shelves, and now there's no water bottles. Yes, because there are warnings about a hurricane because there's a fucking Category 5 hurricane headed straight at your face. That's why there are warnings, and that's why people are buying shit. Because they want to make sure they have the supplies they need to, survive and whatnot. And then there's mandatory evacuations, there's a fuel shortage. He thinks it's all, it's all a hoax. It's all a conspiracy. And I love how the stores that, think about what happened with Hurricane Harvey. Sure, the stores' shelves were empty, but then those stores got flooded and destroyed. Was that part of the whole conspiracy? Was it part of the conspiracy for the hurricane to actually hit, and then for there to be massive flooding? And by the way, he even mentioned Harvey. That's how stupid he is. He brought up Hurricane Harvey while making the point that these hurricane warnings are a massive liberal hoax. Okay, but the point you raise would disprove your thesis. The fuck is wrong with you? So he announced on his show yesterday. Anyway, yeah. So we're not gonna have a show for a little bit here, but we'll be back at some point, and we're gonna have to evacuate South Florida. Wait, what? What happened? What happened, buddy? Have the courage of conviction. Well, there are legal issues, and we can't for legal reasons we can't. Oh, really? Legal reasons? What the fuck do you think is going to happen if you keep doing your show out of southern Florida? The police are going to come arrest your fat millionaire ass in the middle of a fucking Category 5 hurricane? It's not going to happen. So what do you mean legal issues? I'll tell you. He's an idiot, but he's not that big of an idiot. He knows that this shit is going to hit, and his whole shtick of being Mr. Conservative, Mr. Right-wing douchebag on his radio show, yeah, he draws a line when it comes to his life being on the line. But, of course, the reality is, he just convinced a whole bunch of old, far-right white men to not evacuate South Florida. Any old, far-right white man who listens to Rush Limbaugh in South Florida is not going to evacuate now because of Rush Limbaugh. So he drops a fucking stink bomb, and then he's like, I'm out. You're putting these guys' lives at risk. Now, thankfully, there's only a grand total of negative 82 people that listen to Rush Limbaugh, so it's not that many people we have to worry about. But there are going to be many that stay back, and there are going to be many old far-right white men who do that in South Florida. And even though the whole show is based on me despising and debunking old far-right white men, I don't want them to die. I don't want anybody to die. So, I mean... What a douchebag he is, man. He does his whole rant. It's all a hoax. Anyway, I'm out. I don't want to get hit by the hurricane that I just said was a liberal conspiracy. Just remember this story next time you listen to, some conservative commentator boldly and confidently proclaim something. That when push comes to shove at the end of the day, they might act very differently from the worldview that they're espousing because on some level, even they know they're massively full of shit.